Matilda Dunbar, aka Auntie Sweet, the barbecue queen of Wichita, Kansas. Matilda Sweet Dunbar's early years. Matilda Dunbar, affectionately called Sweet, was born in January 1910, 45 years following the Emancipation Proclamation, the legal document that freed the enslaved in America. She was the third child of an independent farmer and wife named James Dunbar Sr. and Savannah Dunbar from Woodville, Mississippi. Matilda's eldest brothers were James Jimmy Dunbar II and Benjamin Bebe Dunbar. Her younger siblings were Charlotte Sank Dunbar, Howard Dunbar, and Frances Dunbar. Matilda attended Mount Zion Baptist Church and accepted Jesus Christ as her personal Lord and Savior at a young age. Matilda Sweet Dunbar's education as a young maiden. Coincidentally, Mount Zion Baptist Church was also the location where Matilda obtained an education in a one-room converted classroom. Matilda was an exemplary student and upheld a standard of excellence throughout her lifetime. The determination to obtain an education was highly revered by the Dunbar family, as Matilda, along with her five siblings, walked 10 miles to and from school. The journey was extensive and entailed walking through the meadows, up and down hills, and crossing a creek. Matilda, upon the completion of her education, became a school teacher to the younger children attending Mount Zion Baptist Church. Matilda Sweet Dunbar's move to New Orleans, then Wichita. A remarkable story regarding the Great Migration fails to recognize the enormous number of African Americans who migrated from the Jim Crow South to the Midwest to escape the harsh conditions of economic and racial oppression to states such as Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Indiana, and Illinois. Matilda moved from Woodville, Mississippi to New Orleans, Louisiana in the 1930s and worked in private homes. In 1945, following World War II, Matilda moved to Wichita, Kansas with her younger sister, Frances Inez Jones, and her husband, Nolan Jones Sr. Matilda was involved in a severe accident in which the city bus dragged her entire body for many feet. Matilda Sweet Dunbar's move to New Orleans, then Wichita, number 2. She survived, sued the city of Wichita, but later Matilda purchased a commercial pit and cooking utensils and opened the restaurant as the chief executive operator owner in a male-dominated industry. She worked in a meticulous manner to obtain the business and alcoholic beverage licensing required. Matilda opened Auntie Sweet's Barbecue in the 1950s, located at 1019 East Murdoch, Wichita, Kansas. Matilda joined New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, located at 1001 North Ohio, Wichita, Kansas, in 1945, and remained a faithful member for approximately 50 years. Upon her miraculous recovery, she decided to epitomize the marketplace with what she knows best, cooking. Her brother-in-law, Nolan Jones Sr., who learned the construction trade so well, built single-handedly from the ground zero Auntie Sweet's Barbecue. He later built Shadow Lane Cafe. Matilda Dunbar opens Auntie Sweet's Barbecue, the best tasting ribs in the world. The cafe, Auntie Sweet's Barbecue, was the first of its kind in the Wichita community that served people from all segments of the Wichita community. People from all ethnic backgrounds frequently purchased delicious barbecue and soul food for themselves and their families, as the restaurant enabled customers to dine in or carry out their food. The business was in operation for well over 45 years. She welcomed people from all walks of life into her business, but the protocol was written on signs displayed prominently within the restaurant, which read as follows: no shoes, no shirt, no service. And it isn't smart to argue with a fool. Listeners can't tell which is which. And wife can't cook, keep her as a pet and eat here. Matilda Dunbar opens Auntie Sweet's Barbecue, the best tasting ribs in the world, number 2. Bringing the entire Wichita community together was the foundational cornerstone for the success of Auntie Sweet's Barbecue, as even in the bastion of ultra-conservatism, the individuals who frequented her restaurant were from all walks of life, including members of the gay community looking to purchase delicious food after a night of dancing in the clubs, to members of the Wichita Police Department. Moreover, many members of the Wichita community, including professionals on their way to and from work at St. Francis Hospital to factory workers obtaining dinner for their households, were treated with respect and enjoyed the tender smoked barbecue meat and the secret barbecue sauce created by Auntie Sweet. The sauce was sensationally delicious and reflected a combination of sweet and spicy ingredients that transported the customers to a state of complete bliss. Auntie Sweet, the queen of barbecue and blues. Auntie Sweet demonstrated the utmost dedication and worked on an average 16 hours per day, 6 days per week. She started her day with grocery shopping to obtain the fresh ingredients listed on the menu to include greens, cabbage, potato salad, sweet potatoes, slabs of ribs, hot links, beef brisket, fried peach and apple pies, and many other items on the menu. Upon the person hired to barbecue the meat failing to show up, Auntie Sweet was responsible for ensuring the meat was barbecued on the commercial pit at the back end of the restaurant. She was extremely meticulously clean and spent extensive hours picking greens and beans at the front table with a direct view on the customers entering the restaurant. Auntie Sweet, the queen of barbecue and the blues. The memorable atmosphere of Auntie Sweet's barbecue may be attributed to the jukebox featuring the most popular rhythm and blues songs by Bobby Blue Bland, Johnny Taylor, and Lattimore. On a few occasions, Auntie Sweet would deviate from the rigorous responsibilities of running a restaurant and enjoy her favorite musician and singer, the legendary B.B. King. Watching Auntie Sweet listen to B.B. King transported her back to her Mississippi Delta roots and the struggles and heartaches that she, along with many African Americans, experienced in the Jim Crow South. Oftentimes, customers would dine in to enjoy the delicious food and partake in the ambiance of the Black Southern experience. Auntie Sweet, the remarkable entrepreneur and trailblazer. Auntie Sweet offered many people within the Wichita community employment opportunities. She was a woman of great integrity and honesty demonstrated by how she operated her business. She offered many disadvantaged people within the Wichita community employment opportunities with equitable wages. Moreover, she was the consummate leader and trailblazer who set the precedent on women entrepreneurship in the 1950s, as she left an indelible imprint and inspired many women entrepreneurs for generations thereafter. Auntie Sweet, the final years of running the business. Auntie Sweet, in her later years prior to retiring as the barbecue queen of the Wichita community, was joined by her sister, Charlotte Sank Stewart, within the restaurant. The sisters were 4 years apart. Born in the early dawn of the 20th century, their sibling bond remained steadfast throughout the duration of their lives and can readily be compared in allegorical cooking terms to sugar and spice and everything nice.